Finally, after God knows how long, NASCAR might be finally coming back. Yo, what is up everyone? My name is Jack Cross from NASCAR on MDK. Welcome back to the episode of Inside the Line, guys. We have one story to talk about here today, but it is a huge one. But before we get into that, guys, thank you guys so much for all the support you showed in the last video. Nearly already 1,000 views. Already cannot believe the amount of engagement I've had so far with that video. Kind of disappointed though that this story take place at the same day, just a couple hours after I uploaded that video. Also, we passed 2.8 thousand subscribers, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support, not only for the past video but also throughout this entire year and the years before that, guys. It's been incredible. Let's see if we can get to 3,000. All right, enough with the plugs. Let's jump into it, guys. NASCAR has been communicating with North Carolina officials and other states across America, South Carolina and Tennessee more specifically, to try and get NASCAR back on track, and it looks like they have done just that. North Carolina has announced, while they are extending still their stay-at-home orders until May 3rd, May 4th, I believe, they are allowing NASCAR teams to open up their shops once again to build cars and prepare for upcoming races. As the governor has said, quote, they deem NASCAR as an essential business. And we do have a full quote from the North Carolina governor. I'm going to read this. This is from racer.com, written by Kelly Crandall. We're just going to read off basically the whole statement from the North Carolina governor, Roy Cooper, and to just offer a full statement on what the direction he feels like for NASCAR should be. He says, quote, from the information that I have now, already under our state executive order, they can begin working in their garages as an essential business defined under our executive order. Okay, they're not garages, they're shops, but little nitpick. Actually, no, that's not a nitpick. That's a major difference, but we'll allow it. Said Governor Cooper on Thursday afternoon. Teams are still in contact with local health departments. Local governments may have some different health restrictions. After a thorough analysis of the details of testing, tracing, and trends, and having conversations with the Trump administration officials like Dr. Anthony Fauci, it's clear that we are on the right path, but that our state is not ready to lift restrictions yet, said Governor Cooper. We need to slow the virus before we can ease restrictions. It's important to get our economy moving forward. We're helping with unemployment payments, stimulus money, and the businesses that continue to be open. But I won't risk the health of our people or our hospitals, and easing these restrictions now would do that. I've been in contact with NASCAR officials, track owners, team owners, and they have come forward with a plan to try and protect their employees, said Governor Cooper when specifically asked about NASCAR. Right now, our public health officials are examining their proposals. They are also talking to local governments there are garages in several counties around Charlotte, about how they would run their garages and to get the cars ready. They need a couple of weeks ahead of time. We will be coming forward with an announcement on that pretty soon after we've had more conversations with public health officials and with NASCAR officials. Now, that was a statement regarding on what he feels about it. Now, obviously, later on, it has been confirmed that he will be opening the teams or the shops so that teams can build their cars and get ready for upcoming races. According to Bob Parkers, he just got a response from the North Carolina Department of Health, and he said that NASCAR teams, while they're able to work on their cars and basically reopen their shops, they still have to they still have to follow the general provision of business operations with social distancing and, you know, under gas stations / transportation sections because of the pandemic that's going on. So they can open, they can work on their cars, but they still have to follow social distancing guidelines, which makes sense. Now, yes, you're probably wondering, future races. Now that teams are able to open their shops and get back to work, sure, that means there is a tentative schedule ahead. Well, there is, and this is coming from Adam Stern. NASCAR could return as early as in about 3 weeks at the time of this recording, so around May 17th. And these are the next 4 races, at least 4 proposed races that could be in store for NASCAR in 2020. So, Sunday, May 17th, Darlington. That's right, Darlington is going to get a second race for the first time since, I believe, 2003. I think it was the last time Darlington got 2 races. I could be wrong about that. But they will be getting a second race Sunday, May 17th. 3 days later, Wednesday, May 20th, NASCAR will go to the Charlotte Motor Speedway on the oval, and it will be a 400-miler race. Then the following Sunday on May 24th will be the Coca-Cola 600, again at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And then on Wednesday, May 27th, NASCAR will head to Tennessee to race at the Bristol Motor Speedway. That is the proposed next 4 schedules. Now, we have not heard any word on what's going to be broadcasted, like if, who's going to get what dates. More than likely, Fox is going to get the Bristol and the Coca-Cola 600 races. I'm not so sure on what Charlotte and Darlington. They could air on Fox because we're technically still under the Fox banner. Remember, Fox holds the races from February until mid to late June. So technically, they could air the May 17th, May 20th Darlington and Charlotte races, but again, nothing confirmed at this moment on what the TV package will look like, but not only for those 4 races, but for the future races in the season. But regardless, I am excited. Now, I know there are some people that didn't like the move. They don't like that, oh, why you're just... Yeah, there were some people that were concerned that, hey, you reopening NASCAR and having, teams come back to the racetrack and work on cars could cause an outbreak. Because remember, there was one person at Atlanta that had COVID-19. Probably gonna have to probably gonna have to bleep that. I don't know why, but I can't say it. But yeah, one person had this thing, and that caused... Okay, yeah, so one person had this thing, we'll call it a thing, and many people are afraid that if you open the tracks back up, even if it's just to teams and officials, it could cause another outbreak. And yes, NASCAR, and while yes, I am also considering that, understand why people feel that way. I do trust NASCAR and track officials to make sure that when they do arrive at the racetrack, that they are all safe, that whoever comes in are going to make sure that they do not have this thing, and whenever they leave, they will still remain sick-free. I'm trying to find other words that doesn't involve that. But you also have to understand that the longer this goes out, the more it's going to hurt the teams. We already talked about, in my last video, Carl Long and his team NBM Motorsports, how he had to lay off all of his employees and had to give out loans. He had to take money from the team and give it to the people to make sure that they have something while they wait for their stimulus check. I get that. I get it that we have to be careful, and I trust NASCAR, but also we have to get back things going because, like I said, the longer this goes, we're going to see more teams shut down. We already saw a driver or a team for the Xfinity Series. I think it was Sam Hunt Racing. I could be wrong. Or Sam Hunt or H2 Motorsports. One of those two companies. I forgot what it was called. They had to shut down. Not permanently, but they had to shut down until this virus were to stop. And when there's no money flowing in, you're going to have to start taking out loans. Or you're going to have to start taking evasive actions. And eventually, it will just come to a point where you just have to shut down. So I understand why NASCAR wants to get back things rolling. Because remember, the only time NASCAR teams are going to get money is if they race from the TV contract. And this TV contracts from Fox and NBC pay out a lot of money to those teams, specifically those small teams. But yes, that's all we know as of this moment. 4 races. Darlington is going to get a second race, which I am so happy that Darlington is going to get a second race, and I think I understand why. NASCAR, they can really only go so far. Like, you can't go to California because they are still under heavy lockdown. You can't go to Florida. Well, maybe Florida a bit later on in the year. You can't go to, tracks like Watkins Glen. You can't go to Texas. You can't go to Kansas. You can't go to, like, certain tracks due to certain restrictions. So NASCAR, they have to play with what they got. So they have to go to tracks that are very close to majority of the teams, and they're able, and because of that, they're able to work with local government officials like people of South Carolina, people of North Carolina, and Tennessee. Because the tracks or the race shops are so close to those tracks, it's sort of like quick destinations compared to, let's say, if you were to go to California, which is all across the freaking country. It'd be a lot more difficult. So I think you're going to see a lot more races take place near the hub of NASCAR. So maybe expect more races at Bristol, or maybe expect, more races at Talladega in Alabama. Kind of far away, but not as far as, let's say, New York, where Watkins Glen is. Maybe we might see a race at Martinsville, depending on how long that lockdown goes. Let's say if it eases its restrictions just a bit to allow NASCAR to come back, we could see that happen there. But I'm very interested to see what this tentative schedule looks like, because according to Steve Phelps, when they gave out their proposed schedules to Fox and NBC, the network signed off right away. So now all it comes down to is the announcement. When will NASCAR be comfortable enough to release a full schedule? But regardless, this is too far down the road. You have to keep in mind, Charlotte is going to get 3 races. They're going to get a 400-mile race on Wednesday, May 20th. Then they're going to get 4 days later the Coca-Cola 600. And then they also have the Roval in the playoffs. I think it's the 400K. So they have 3 races. Then they have 2 races at the Roval. Wow, this is going to be very, very interesting to see what unfolds in this NASCAR season. Again, tentative schedule. Next 4 races: Darlington, Charlotte, 400-miler, then a 600-mile Coast 600, and then we go to Bristol. More than likely, it's going to be in the daytime, but we'll see. Hopefully, it's in the nighttime, but might be in the daytime, but we'll see there. But again, that's really all I have to say here for this episode of Inside Lines. But this is a huge, huge story. But it's also a very controversial one, mainly because it's a touchy subject. When you're talking, or when you're discussing about issues like this that involves people's health, you're going to have people on one side of, we need to get back things going. We can't be on lockdown forever. You need to have the economy start flowing. It can't be on lockdown forever. You're also going to have people, though, on the other side be, we need to be safe. You don't want another outbreak. We don't want part 2 of this pandemic. We don't need it, nor can we afford it. It's very, it's really, you can't be a middle ground. You have to be either on this side or you're on that side. I try to be in the middle ground, but I'll say I am biased. I'm a NASCAR fan. I want to see NASCAR racing, so I'm gonna be leaning towards. So we need to get back going. We need to, get back rolling. But I do understand the other side of wanting to stay safe, and I trust NASCAR and the people at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Darlington Raceway, and Bristol Motor Speedway to, whenever the teams, officials, drivers, and everyone that's supposed to be at the track, they get there, make sure they are safe, they are clean, they don't have any, they are protected from any potential dangers. And once they leave the track and able to go back to their homes, they're also able to remain danger or sick free. But what are your guys' thoughts on this topic? Again, I'd really, really like to hear your thoughts on this situation, because like I said, it's a very touchy subject. You're either for it or you're against it. So I really would like to hear your guys' thoughts on it. But that will conclude this episode of Inside the Line. Guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. Trying to keep this going, keep the grind going, weekly content. Hope you guys have enjoyed those videos lately. I got a lot of stuff I want to do with a look back in stock car stories. I want to get back into those swing of things later on in the future. But that's it for me. Until next time, my name is 𝘵𝙬𝙗 from NASCAR on MDK. And I'll see you guys in the next video.